Hello everyone and welcome to my video. This is my most recent FTP test, functional power threshold test on the bike. And the reason why I'm doing it's because, well, I like to watch videos of other athletes doing some tough sessions and some tests, so I just thought, why wouldn't I record one of my own? So yeah, here we are. And I usually start my FTP testing with a pre-training plan workout from Zwift, just for warm-up, just to get a couple of short intervals in to get the legs and the heart going. As in the later stages of this warm-up workout, you already have to sustain a power above what you should theoretically or could theoretically hold for the 20-minute test. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this as part of my training plan, this FTP test, to keep just the values up to date and aligned with the training zones. And I'm doing triathlon, competing as an age grouper, and I'm actually investing most of my free time on it, as I work full-time and I have a 4-year-old daughter, so just trying to bike, run and swim as much as I can. I've got a swimming background, so for the last couple of years I focus much more on running and cycling, which obviously also weighs much more on triathlon. So just a little short intro about me. So we are now into the 20-minute FTP test interval. What you will notice is that my average power will slowly decline throughout the test. It was not specific to this test. It also doesn't mean that I'm tired or that I started too ambitious. That's just the way I like to do my tests. This always happens, because if I try to keep a stable power from the beginning to the end, as I guess that they advise, my overall 20-minute average power wouldn't be as high as this way I'm doing right now, and I like to do. I've got fresh enough legs, I would say. I haven't exactly rested too much. I'm coming from a couple of big weeks of training, volume-wise, at least for my standards. I rested a couple of days, still trained, but nothing too much. So I would say I'm okay-ish to do this test. We are now 5 minutes in. I still feel pretty comfortable, fresh. My average power is around 370 watts. My heart rate is still on the low 170s, which is very easily sustainable for me. My maximum heart rate is 190. I just actually hit it recently. Although important to mention that it was on a run. On a bike, it's 188, I believe. But anyways, at this stage, feeling fresh, feeling good, as you should, or you'll regret it more towards the end of the test. You know what I mean if you've done one of this already. And I'm just avoiding to look at the screen, at the computer too much, to the timestamp, I mean, especially when it's still 15 minutes to go, and trying to stay distracted with some YouTube videos on the phone, just keeping myself entertained. So we are now 10 minutes into the FTP test. I'm still feeling pretty comfortable. My average power is around 366, 365. My heart rate has not yet hit the 180s, which is when I usually start feeling uncomfortable. And my cadence is stable around 85, 86. That's my natural cadence. I guess you could say it's more on the lower level when you compare it to cyclists. At least my impression is that the reference is around 90 RPM. But for me, this is what I would consider to be the natural cadence, the one that my legs ask me. And at this point, I had already defined my objective for the 20 minutes. I wanted to finish with an average 20-minute power above 360 watts, and I felt confident that that was something that I could manage. Although there's still 10 minutes to go, I still felt pretty strong and that I had a lot in the tank left to go. It's an FTP test and it can easily turn around, but I was still feeling pretty good. Into the last 5 minutes of the test now. By now I was definitely feeling it. My heart rate 182, I'm fighting to keep the cadence stable, definitely getting tired. Actually 1 minute after this point or so, I started feeling some fatigue on my legs, like the legs really burning, the quads burning, which I think it was mainly due to the longer sessions I had done on the weekend, 7 hours plus in total, plus brick runs. separate in 2 days. But anyways, the average power is now 362 watts, and I've got my plan to stay above the 360 watts by the end of the test. Breathing frequency is much higher, breathing volume for sure higher as well. But if you get to this point into the FTP test and you are not in pain, then that means that you are not doing it correctly or not trying hard enough. And my body quite wobbly, as you can see, trying to compensate with other muscles for my legs. Finally, we arrive into the last 2 minutes of the test. Not sure if you can hear, but I'm pretty tired. You can hear my heavy breathing, actually, dripping sweat all over. Basically the way it's supposed to be actually on such a test. My power is now down to 361 watts, and I think it actually hit 360 at a certain point, but I realized that I still had some power and some gas left in the tank. So on the last 20 seconds or so of the test, I just pushed a little more to bring it up a notch. But for the last minute, you're just really counting the seconds. You know the feeling if you've done one of this. Actually, personally, between 2 and 1 minute left in the test, that's the hardest interval for me, just the worst, because I'm already exhausted, but I still see that there's the number 1 on the minutes case. And then at least for the last minute, you can usually find some extra power and motivation when you look at the countdown. And the sun even came out for the end of the test, just a little nice touch to it. Still quite windy and cold here, as usual, in Northern Europe. And at this point, I get an energy boost. I'm feeling pretty close to the end of the test. I get my composure back just to cross the finish line in style. But once you cross the finish line, you just realize, damn, this was hard, damn, I'm tired, let me stop pedaling here for a second. So that's the end of it. 344 watts is my new FTP, also my lifetime best. I'm 72 kilos, so it's equivalent to 4.8 watts per kilogram, which I'm very satisfied with naturally. It increased since the last time I tested 2 months ago, when I had a lower volume of training. So that's definitely encouraging, a good sign, and keeping me motivated to keep on with my training. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the FTP test and video. I know I did, and I wish you all a good training season, in case you are also just building up the miles at this stage like me, and thanks a lot for watching my video.